Going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back or welcome to the Stephen Connor Show on Stephen Connor TV. I'm your host, Stephen Connor. Before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also hit that post notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a video. Update, I'm back, y'all. I'm fully 100% back. What does that mean? That means that you're going to get regular content from me. I have a new job. However, that job will not be affecting my content creation. I'll still be coming out with wrestling videos. I'll still be coming out with NFL, college football, NBA when it's that time, college football videos. And I will also start some new videos as well. Like I did movie rankings. I'm going to continue to do stuff like that. Show rankings, movie rankings, and some food reviews. So I'm just excited for the future of this channel. But without further ado, let's get to who will be the starting QB for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. It's three things, ladies and gentlemen. Three things that you can expect out of life. That's taxes, death, and the Pittsburgh Steelers going 10-7 and being a first-round exit in the NFL playoffs. Because that's what happened once again for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers finished second in the AFC North, 10-7. They finished 16th in points scored with 380, and they finished 8th with points allowed in 347th. And like I said, they finished 10-7, and once again, they ended up being a first-round exit. So you have that happened once again, and then came the question, a little bit of questioning over the offseason for a brief moment. Should they fire Mike Tomlin? Yes, Mike Tomlin is one of the most successful coaches in the NFL and one of the best coaches of all time. One of the best coaches in Pittsburgh's history, but just not Pittsburgh history, the history of the NFL as a whole. Not only is he that, but he has never had a losing season. He has been to the Super Bowl. He has won a Super Bowl. He has shown that he is capable of it. However, over the last few seasons, a good roughly since Jacksonville, I believe since they faced Jacksonville, Pittsburgh has been mid in the playoffs, and they have been a mid team overall. They find a way to get to the playoffs, and that's about it. They're always going to be in the playoffs. No matter what, Pittsburgh finds a way to get to the playoffs, and they find a way to have a winning record, even though when they shouldn't have had a winning record. And he keeps doing it over and over again, Mike Tomlin with Pittsburgh, and it's hilarious at this point. But he keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it over and over again. So then you ask yourself, hey, do we want to keep going to the playoffs, or do we want to actually contend to the Super Bowl? Is it Mike Tomlin's fault? Is it the team's fault? Should we move on from Mike Tomlin? And that's a question I heard a little bit going on this offseason, and obviously they decided to stay with Mike Tomlin, which I think is a really good decision. So once again, the Steelers have a question facing them this offseason. What should they do at quarterback? If you don't know, over the last few years since Big Ben has gone, they have struggled with quarterback. At one point, they signed Mitch Trubisky. They drafted Kenny Pickett thinking he was the answer, and he wasn't. Mason Rudolph, the dude who got hit in the side of the head with the helmet by Myles Garrett. Yeah, him. He at one point looked really good and then fizzled out. And then this year, they did something that I thought was really smart last offseason. They went and got Russell Wilson, and they traded for Justin Fields, and I thought that was perfect. I thought it made so much sense to do that, because then you could have Russell Wilson, who at the end of his time with Denver looked really good, and you had him who's a veteran, who's a decent, at the very least, quarterback in the NFL. He could teach a mentor, Justin Fields, who desperately needed some love after what he had to deal with in Chicago. And you let him come in, you let him be the quarterback for a year, and then after that, you let him go, or 2 years, and then you let Justin Fields give him the keys and let him be the QB1 of the future. Instead, Russell Wilson ended up getting injured, and Justin Fields had to start as quarterback, and he did an amazing job as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But then, once Russell Wilson got hurt, Mike Tomlin decided to pivot from him to Russell Wilson. And once again, Russell Wilson had a great year. Well, not a great year, but he had a decent year, and they made the playoffs. and they were once again first round exits because the momentum they had built up had slowed down completely. And I thought it was a good idea because it's Mike Tomlin. I say he knows what he's doing. Don't question him. But I always wonder now, what would have happened if they would have kept Justin Fields as the starting quarterback? So now, once again, you have a question on your hands. Who will be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers going into next season? I have 5 possible options here. I have them ranked 5 to 1 in who I think is the best in my opinion. So yeah, without further ado, let's start off with number 5. Number 5, we have Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins last year threw for 3,508 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. He disappointed the Atlanta Falcons so much that they benched him for Michael Penix Jr., their rookie who they drafted at quarterback. Kirk Cousins had flashes of being really good. He had one game where he threw for like 500 yards, and then after that, it was downhill for him. He is a possible option for them. Do I think they're going to go with him? No, but he is the option that they have. Next up is someone who I think should have been in the MVP conversation a lot more last year. Should have got more love in the MVP race, and that's free agent Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold threw for 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Sam Darnold had a really great year last year. Towards the end of the season, last 2 games, he regressed, and he looked like the old Sam Darnold, but we see that Sam Darnold with a functioning offensive line, and a defense, he can be something. He could do some damage. And he has a really great head coach already in place with Mike Tomlin in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do I think they will go for Sam Darnold? No. I actually have no clue where Sam Darnold was going to end up. But he shocked a lot of people last year. And the only 2 teams that he lost to were the Lions and the Rams last year. So keep that in mind. But he was a really good player last year. Deserves a lot more credit, I believe. He should have won Most Improved. He should have been in the MVP race more. He was just really good overall, and he's a solid option for them. And I could see it working out. Number 3, we have old man Aaron Rodgers, that bad man Aaron Rodgers. He threw for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He, for the last 2 years, was with New York Jets. Tore his ACL, and then last year it just wasn't it. They had a lot of issues that were off the field. He calling out teammates getting traded in the middle of the season, bringing in number 1 wide receivers in the middle of your season, and they had a lot of stuff to figure out. They prematurely fired their head coach, the Jets, and it was just a hot, stinking mess over there. So Aaron Rodgers didn't perform as well as he usually does till the end of the year. The end of the year, Aaron Rodgers looked really good, but the beginning of the year, he looked rough. And that Jets team looked rough. He will be a solid veteran pick for them. And I just want to say, regardless of who they pick, they're gonna go 10-7. Probably make the playoffs regardless of who they can pick. But I think if they pick Aaron Rodgers, they could possibly go on a deeper run than what they went on last year. And yeah, like I said, all he has to do is be fully committed 10 Manning camp, because he's going to have to get to learn these wide receivers, these players, the weapons on the team. And yeah, like I said, Mike Tomlin is a really great head coach, and I think he can make it work with Aaron Rodgers. Next up, we have the number 2 option, which is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw for 2,482 yards last year, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I believe that he's the second best option because he knows the system, he knows what to do, and he's been there before. And you have had success with him as quarterback. You went to the playoffs. You had a winning record with him as your quarterback. Even though it stalled out in the end of the year, like Pittsburgh always do, but still, it still was there. That's familiarity. He won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. He's shown that he's capable of winning, and he's a great leader and has great leadership skills. With all that being said, I still don't think he's the best option. Me personally, the Steelers said that they don't want to bring back Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, both of them. They would have to choose between one of them. And if they have to choose anyone on this list in between them two, I think they should go with the younger option, and that's being Justin Fields. Justin Fields, 1,106 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He ran for 289 rushing yards, which is 4.7 yards per carry. That man was explosive. You see that record? He was 5-1. 5-1. I mean, not 5-1, 4-2. He was 4-2. He threw for 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he was 4-2 as the starter for the Steelers. When they sat him down, I was like, you know what? I understand what they're doing. It makes sense to me. Don't question Mike Tomlin. But now the more I think about it, why would they do that? I get that Russell Wilson was always supposed to be the starter, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he has a lot of skills that these other people don't. Number one, he's younger than a lot of them. And number two, he's more mobile than all of these quarterbacks are. He's surely more mobile than Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson isn't as mobile as he used to be. Justin Fields will be able to create plays with his legs, extend plays with his legs, and the Steelers really needed that last year. We saw a lot of time they were in trouble, and Russell Wilson wasn't able to do what he used to could do with the ball. If that was Justin Fields there, he would have been able to get away from the pass rush. He would have been able to maybe break away for a big play. He would have been able to avoid a sack. He would have been able to do certain things that I think the Steelers need to take into consideration. Justin Fields knows the team. He knows the team. This year, he could fully get to know the whole team. This whole offseason doesn't have to split reps with nobody, doesn't have to do anything like that. Get him into minicamp, just train him. And Mike Tomlin is the perfect coach for him. Like I said, he showed flashes of greatness last year. We know he is a capable starter in this league. We saw it last year. I want to see what he can do in a full season, because I think if they give him a full season, maybe they will be able to exceed expectations and break the three things: death, taxes, and the Steelers going 10-7 and being first round exits. Maybe they'll be able to stop it next year, but we shall wait and see. So those are my options for Pittsburgh. We have Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. Like I said, if they pick any of those people at quarterback, I really do believe that they will make the playoffs, or at the very least have a winning record. However, I believe if they let Justin Fields be the quarterback next year and be the quarterback of the future, that he possibly could change it up. They possibly could go on a run with him as quarterback, and I just want to see him have a full season. You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Until next time, be good people, y'all. Steven Counter out.